You should see my 7-year-old dancing this thing because of that. Right, that age until they have self-consciousness. Now still they don't care, and they just really dance and sing and whatever.
Let's go for it.
The lyrics are good. Now still they don't care.
Right design. The form belongs to no one who you. Come see me through. Come through the sea to bear and share the light inside of you. Don't cast away. Don't cast away. Don't let them cast a roll for you. Find the sun, cross the moon, lose the earth, the dreams come to those who live.
Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, or maybe good night, depending on where you are. Thanks for joining us for another LinkedIn Live session with Empathy and a special joint session with Spaceheater AI today. My name is Jordan. I am the marketing director here at Empathy Co. And today I'm joined by Angel Maldonado, who is the CEO of Empathy and a co-founder of Spaceheater AI, along with Alex Barrett and Ben Cooper, the other co-founders of Spaceheater AI, and Andres Doncel, who is a backend engineer here at Empathy. So that said, Angel, I'm going to hand it over to you so you can talk about this partnership and let us know what's going on.
Thank you so much, Jordan. Thank you, Andres, Ben, and Alex, and everybody who is listening to this now live, and to all the people who watch it after. Now, first of all, building in public is so liberating. As I was listening to this song now, Spirit, is that Alex Future Islands, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that those don't cast away, freely exercising your capacity, your creativity, your imagination. And this is what this is about. It's about trying to expose transparently our journey as we advance into new territories. And now we're doing this in partnership with Spaceheater, with Alex and Ben. They bring an incredible view, an incredible mindset, and they're really elevating everything that we're doing in Empathy, as we're going to see now, an emotive with this particular initiative. So enough of that, and I'll pass it over to you, Alex.
Thank you, Angel. Yeah, it's so great to be here. Andres, maybe you want to share the deck. There we go.
Here we
Oh,
go.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, can you see it?
Yeah, perfect. So thank you so much, Angel. Ben and I, we're so excited to be here and working with Andres and the crew at Empathy. Let me get right into it. We recently started a new company called Spaceheater, and we are doing what we had set out to do, which is build in public. It's very early, and we have this vision that we want to deliver to the world that is really about putting people in control of their experiences online and empowering them to have these incredible experiences that are controlled by them, tailored by them, and very, very contextual. And so basically the service is going to be two parts. One will be on the user side, giving users these amazing experiences. But in order to do that, we need to be able to deliver a technology that enables organizations like Empathy to craft and design these incredible experiences of how they want their users to be able to engage with their content. So a little bit about what we think that involves and what we're building is here on the screen before you. It's going to start with user authentication, allowing users to authenticate all of their own personal data, helping bring some context into environments that are secure and controlled by them. And we're going to do this and leverage what we call engagement artifacts that are basically representing context that are contextual to the user, contextual to the space, what's happening in that environment, and contextual to the organization that is serving that environment. And again, this is all meant to be blind and controlled by the end user. I think that's really important because this privacy, it's not about privacy in the traditional sense. It's about empowering the ability to do more and share what you've got and combine it and use this amazing technology that we have with AI. So with that, I want to hand it back to Angel and talk a little bit about one of our first explorations with them. We are working on something that they already started called Backroom, which is a really cool technology for shop owners, and another thing called GPlay. And I think you'll see here in a little bit in our demo how we look to enable technology or enable experiences like this. And I'll kick it over to Angel so he can talk a little bit about this.
Yeah, now, we have incredible imagination, and by we, I mean everybody, absolutely everyone. And now just think for a moment, what are the consequences of being able to engage conversationally with any tool? From a business owner or a merchandiser or an analytics persona, we use a lot of tools. All these different people use a lot of tools, and those tools have a particular schema and a format and a way of being, and they have the forms and buttons and all that stuff. And they've been getting more and more Frankensteinian complications. And this is not what we are supposed to do. We're supposed to meet beauty and aesthetics with function, not overcomplicating things. And that is a very difficult art. So with that, in that mindset, we thought, why do we have a dashboard? Why don't we bring as a layer on top of an online store that which matters? And then what do you do with all the things that you can do? What do you add them? How do you keep simplicity? So this is what we're in Backroom. We said, okay, you can add some basic things and you can talk to the rest. And this is where we found a lot of challenges that with the help of the Spaceheater, we are unlocking. If we go to the next slide. Also for the more extended, complex merchandising experience of the large enterprise, we've been, and we have had many LinkedIn Lives about this, building in public through open innovation with the help of Letty, Amores, designing how could that more complex experience be delivered in ways that leverage generative AI and yet provide that neutral space with that user, that merchant can have a trustworthy relationship. Again, in there, we found a lot of limitations and obstacles. And again, with the help of a Spaceheater, we've been finding this particular schema or protocol of the relationship and that neutral space that we continue to advance towards. So we took those two ideas, Backroom, which is the back room of a shop, and that's layer on top of an online store, and being able to talk to it. And then the idea of the more complex, the enhanced, extended, the merchandiser enterprise experience, and being able to talk to it as well. And this is where I pass it over to you again, Alex, as we share this pill of building in public.
Thank you. So, and I love the UI that you guys have there, and I think what we hope to deliver will be able to support experiences just like that. And so, back to this idea of context and bringing it into a space that the user controls. We're using technology. I'm sure everybody here has played with things like GPT now, and you're getting used to being able to talk to it and have it give you these magical answers and starting to feed in context about yourself and seeing these answers come back, and they're highly tailored to what you're saying and specifically you. When you start to look at doing that with other organizations where you need to share data about yourself, the lines get blurred. What do you want to give to the organization? Maybe not so much. And so we really want to create this neutral space where you can leverage everything that is contextual to what you're trying to do or learn about or see, in a place where it's under your control and you don't have to give up everything about yourself, but you can still leverage it. And so in the idea of Backroom and GPlay, we started thinking about, okay, we need to be able to support shop owners to view and understand what's going on in their shops. And a lot of this, as you'll see in the demo, can be it can be captured using systems like retrieval augmented generation, excuse me. And essentially that's storing objects and data in a way that can be recalled through a prompt and really understanding the intent of the user. And so that's great for things that are static or things that have happened, but sometimes you need to capture data that, or bring data into the conversation that's real time. It's happening right now. It happened 10 minutes ago. And so we needed to look at other solutions. And amazingly, Empathy has this amazing platform of docs with all their API endpoints. And we looked at that and we said, wow, there's a lot here that we can choose from, but we need a way for our system to understand what the intent of the user is and then grab some data from their API and bring it into this conversation and leverage it, allow us to really talk to our data. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Ben, and he's going to give you a quick look at what we have so far. We just started building this. I'm so excited for where it's going to go, and I hope you guys will see what we're doing here.
Great, thanks, Alex. Yeah, let me show my screen here. So first off, it's great to be here with you all. Right now, we are just getting started, and we're excited to be building in public. A mentor once told me to use the tool and not be the tool. And sometimes with AI, it feels like we are being thrust under the machine of what this technology can do because it's so powerful. And at Spaceheater and with Empathy, we are trying to take that power back and empower everyone to use your data and own your data and be able to have much richer experiences than you would otherwise by just having simple conversations with your LLM of choice. So with that, just happy to show you what we're working with. Thanks to the great bicycle shop BC Classica in Gijón, Spain. We are using some of their data to demonstrate this. So definitely check them out if you're in Europe looking for a great bike. And so here's our initial chat screen, as some of you are familiar with. First off, what we are looking to generate these as different action points. So imagine the data and the LLM giving you prompts of stuff that you can do. Hey, this data came in, you want to look at that deeper. How can you increase your sales? How can you fix your keywords? Stuff like that. So that's what we're definitely heading to. And as of now, let me show you kind of what our first iteration is on this. So let's say, tell me about my daily search results, maybe. So here's the different pieces we're putting together. First off, we are searching our RAG, our Retrieval Augmented Generation vector database to get whatever those various API endpoints that Alex showed in the prior slide. And Andres, after this, will talk about that, how all that works, because it's very interesting and very complicated. Next, we take our specific one, our top result, and which is our daily search API. And here's kind of what you get with that. You get the description returns KPIs, and then the actual endpoint itself here. Also, too, the parameters that the API endpoint is looking for to format this request. So as you can see, it's you can put in lots of start date, end date, all that. And what we get back here is some daily data. And we can see a date, we can see the queries amount, the number of just lots of stuff, clicks, add to carts, everything. And then we feed that into our LLM here to get some insightful data. And so imagine we can get actionable results here, different queries, different click-through rates, and very interesting stuff. And imagine next, we will be able to see what maybe some charts in here that are generated on the fly with this data, and lots of actionable, beautifully visual things that you can you can be able to do stuff with and see, oh, maybe my clicks aren't as high, or maybe my click-through rate's not as high. So you can also see there's some very not usable stuff in here too, and that's the beauty, the double-edged sword of working with LLMs, that we don't know exactly what it's going to give back. So as we develop this and as we hone what data we're getting back, and we can see stuff like this, and we can work with that. So there's lots of opportunities to get the LLM in here, such as understanding what this prompt is, and then understanding this data a little better and working with different data that we can get. So with that, I will pass it back to Andres, and he'll tell you more about exactly what's going on with our RAG system here. Let me share my screen here. So, sorry here, just give me 1 second. Too many screens open.
If only there was an LLM to handle this for us.
Seriously.
It's fine if you stop and I share. But maybe if you.
Stop video.
Well, this shows that it's still very early in that part of the world, Ben.
Yes, it's 7 a.m. for me. I'm used to being on Gihon time, so I wish the Zoom window. Here we go. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Okay.
No problem, Ben.
My turn then. So how was this done, right? We have 2 parts in order to enable a conversational experience powered by with contextual enhancement. What we do is first indexing. We take the eDocs platform information for the stats API. We take the Open API specification, which is a YAML, which has all the information about the endpoints in the description, and we index that information in a vector database for later retrieval. Then, when the user starts with prompting a query, we do 3 main steps. First, we fetch top 3 or top K candidates of endpoints that may be related to the query that the user is typing. We do that in order to select which one could be the best, because not always is the first one. We select the top 3, and then we can choose the first one or let another more complex software to choose the best endpoint. With that, we select the endpoint and run the actual request against the real stats API. So we get that real information in near real time, and then you can pass that information to the LLM given using a prompt that says, okay, the user is asking for this, and this is the data, and you should look in this part, this JSON. Give me a summary of what the user is trying to look for, right? And then the LLM makes its magic and returns a final response, which we can see in the demo. And as you said, it's only text, but you can start generating more complex schemas like a table, and then you can parse and allow another kind of experience. So you are stopping working with a text-to-text agent and start working with a text to enhance context with actionable endpoints. No? So you can do imagine the possibilities. This is just fetching data, but you could also modify data or ask for any other kind of actions that will be available in the APIs. So
Awesome.
That's another example, right?
Yeah, Ben, if you can take over the screen again quickly. Perfect. Ben, you're muted. There we go.
I love to see a picture of Ben's setup. Must be like a trillion screen. You know,
I have a few monitors going this way, and unfortunately Zoom is not doesn't work well with it. So
it happens to me very often. I lose the button on the screens. Yeah.
Anyway, here is another example here. If I can work my computer, let's say you want to see about your products and maybe some interactions around that. So tell me about my products and interactions. All right, so here it returns again our top matching endpoint. And then also here's the schema again of what that request looks like with the parameters of the start date, end date, offset, rows, etc. And then here is what actually the endpoints that's being called. The instance is the shop here. We're doing a start date. This is actually just hard-coded to be 7 days, but you can imagine, tell me about my product's interactions over the last month, over the last 2 weeks, and our LLM will interpret that and be able to populate all these parameters. And another thing too is some of these parameters are required and some are optional. So as of right now in our RAG database, as you can see right here, the start date, end date, the sort file, and the sort order are all required parameters. So that's a challenge as far as indexing the data properly, so we can see, hey, this is required for this API call, so we need to generate that as a default. And then also too, if a user says something like, give me a start date or end date or something like that, the LLM can populate that on the fly. And then with that, we get different results about different products. And we can see the click counts, a URL to the actual product in the store, a title, and then our LLM is actually giving us some actionable insights based on that. And so if you can imagine too, as far as where this could be headed, as you can see, we get the actual URL for the store. So maybe we have different cards that are generated as far as different images about this, or different, just again, a chart or something like that on the fly. And so the analytics and everything could get very rich with all these interactions and what we get back from the analysis of the LLM here.
One thing I'll jump in, that was great, Ben. One thing I'll jump in and say is as you mentioned, the challenges around understanding the API endpoints and what parameters they're going to require and what are optional. And a big part of what we're hoping to build with Spaceheater is the way to enable all kinds of organizations like Empathy that have these really robust APIs, ways to leverage that, where our system will just understand, okay, we've added these endpoints. Now we need to know, tell the LLM what to populate, and we can actually have an LLM look at this endpoint and say, okay, I definitely need to add, a date range or something like that, and look at the user prompt and really interpret that question and understand, okay, is this person looking for a specific date range, or should I just select one that seems to make sense in the context of this? And if you think about, like what you were saying, as far as these cards or visuals, we really hope to be able to give organizations the tools and be able to produce things like GPlay, where Empathy might say, well, we want it to look like this when this kind of data is displayed or provided by the API. And so we'll be able to enable the environment to handle those kinds of instructions, or maybe anticipate other data that the user has brought into this conversation through their own contextual artifacts or potentially their prompts. So I think there's going to be some really cool things that we can do as far as onboarding new experiences and helping organizations craft and really design the UX flows of these experiences. As we said, we're building in public, so we hope to next time, whether it's next week or 2 weeks from now, come back and be able to show some advancements on this, looking at, okay, maybe now we've inserted another call to the LLM before the actual end result that helps interpret and analyze some of this data. Maybe we can populate some of these params on the fly based on what the user has said in the prompt, and maybe potentially display some interesting UI as well. So it's a very ambitious project. We're doing this truly in the spirit of building in public, showing you the raw, super colorful UI that Ben and I like to produce here. And obviously we would love to see how other people use this and how they make it look in their environments, and what kind of experiences can be created for their users. So hopefully we have something coming out for Backroom and GPlay quite soon. But I think that's pretty much a wrap for what we can show for today. And Angel, I'll pass it back to you for some final thoughts, and look forward to talking to everybody soon.
I mean, thank you. It's very tempting right now to go into the nitty-gritty of the technical aspects, but allow me to take a step back and have a more of a holistic concluding thought. Many companies have been and many tools today automate many tasks that involve the invocation of an API. You receive an email and it goes automatically into your calendar, or you pay bills, or a return or a message can be processed and treated. But that is an immediate observation. What matters on the creation of a new way of doing something is the effect that it has in the way you relate to that which you are doing. That's very important, the behavioral expansion that you arrive at. So now let me go back to Biciclásica. The owner of Biciclásica asks every day 4 or 5 questions to the data that they have. And the vehicle to deliver those questions are conventional forms and dashboards. Many of those you can automate processes afterwards. And the question is, which we are here to answer and explore, how will being able to talk to these APIs and to exercise through natural language actions, how will that change the way that shop owner relates to the activities that can be performed? What new behaviors are reflected, affected by this new form? And that is an advancement. That's the newness. That's the new space that we are after. We are trying to connect that efficiency with that usefulness, with that beauty, and trying to unlock that. And I'm so looking forward to the next session. Thank you so much, Alex, Ben, Andres. Thank you so much for all the thinking and the effort. Jordan, thank you for facilitating. Most importantly, thank you to everybody who's participating on this. The spirit, Future Islands. Let's go back to that song. And remember, this is open innovation. Everybody's welcome. Reach out. We're looking forward to support and sponsor anybody with any ideas. Don't hesitate reaching out. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Guys, very impressive what you've done. Very impressive.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, no.
Guys, it's advanced a lot. You know how
it was a team effort. Definitely a team effort. But yeah, no, we're so excited.
Great work. I'm so fascinated by the behavioral changes that this unlocks, because in immediate judgment, if you can invoke APIs, very superfluously reasons. But it's not about that. It's about how that changes the way you understand, the way you communicate, the way you behave, the way you act.
Absolutely.
You have that alternative way. And that is what innovation is all about, creating those new behaviors. That's what changes things.
It's great to be able to put different behaviors on the LLM as well. We saw some crazy responses. We actually asked the LLM to be angry with us and talk about the data, and it was great. You got some really good responses, and it's quite fun. I'll have to share it soon.
Guys, thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Great job, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.